Here we have Bravely Default 2 on the Nintendo Switch. I've just over 10 hours in it right now, so here are 5 reasons to buy Bravely Default 2 and stick around at the end for 3 reasons to avoid it. Let's start with the value for money. If you know JRPGs, you know that they're long, sometimes too long. This game will take you at least 40 hours to beat. $60 is a lot of money, so there's absolutely no reason not to stretch it as far as you can. For people who like to spend a lot of time with one game, then this is perfect. You can lose hours to grinding, doing side quests and fighting optional enemies that will no doubt destroy you. On top of this, the story is expansive. After 10 hours I'm only on chapter 1, and with 5 more to go, each with their own location, I'll be playing this for quite some time. Not a problem for me though, because I love some classic JRPG goodness. Bravely Default 2 is as classic JRPGs can get, but with some quality of life improvements. It has the typical 4-party members, jobs, and some magical crystals or stone, or insert whatever JRPG thing here, plot. But that's okay. Sometimes you need innovative takes on the genre like Xenoblade Chronicles, other times the comfort food that Bravely Default provides is perfect. However, it's the little innovations that make it so playable. Fast travel between towns, auto heal, auto equip, and 3 different difficulty levels make this game accessible to newcomers and veterans alike. Gluttons for punishment will turn the difficulty all the way up, others will play on normal, and some will turn down the difficulty to sit back and enjoy the journey. I saved the best option to last, however. Long animations and turn-based battles become tiresome. After 40 hours of the same animations, you just want to get on with it. The ability to speed up combat 4 times is a feckin' godsend, and it makes grinding a lot more bearable. The third point I want to bring up is the Brave and Default system. I enjoyed what I played of Octopath Traveler, but the combat in that game was dragged out. Battles with normal enemies would take ages, and eventually it took its toll on me. Yes, there was the boost and break system in Octopath, but the random encounters and the sponginess of enemies were awful. It felt like I would be fighting random battles for 47 minutes at a go. The Brave system fighting against normal enemies meant that the encounters never took too long. It has a great risk-reward strategy in boss battles, but also helps alleviate one of the biggest turn-offs in JRPGs, and that is grinding. I don't understand why every JRPG doesn't have this system, it's simply amazing. The second last point to make is the Japanesey-ness of the game. Yeah, I think that's a word. This can equally be a turn-off for some, but I love this aspect of Japanese games. Just how everything is slightly over the top, and it makes for some extremely awkward and hilarious scenes. There was one conversation between Adele and Elvis. Adele needed new shoes and Elvis was overly focused on her feet, and when she brought it up he just awkwardly changed the subject. It's completely on the nose, or toes, but things like that make me laugh every single time. While it's not even close to the weebiness it can get to in this genre, it's really amusing without taking it too far. The final positive is the boss fights. As I said, your average battle isn't too difficult on normal, but the boss fights offer an amazing challenge, usually having one gimmick that you have to be on your toes for. Maybe a boss inflicts poison, so you equip your party with poison immunity and you plan your attacks or weaknesses. The Brave and Default system really adds to the boss fights as the risk-reward trade-off is amplified. Typically I default my white mage so I can save her moves for healing or reviving a dead party member. Or I would bank up loads of moves with my attack heavy party member so I could devastate the boss. And the best thing about this, if it doesn't work out and you get caught, you're fecked and your whole party will be wiped out. There was one boss so far that I was stuck on for ages figuring out the strategy, but it was an extremely rewarding experience when I beat her. Now it's not all sunshine and roses. Here are 3 reasons to avoid buying Bravely Default 2. The game is a JRPG. If you have no interest in them, then I'm kinda curious why you're still watching this video, but thanks for sticking around. But also, the game just doesn't do enough to change up the formula. Yes, it has a lot of quality of life improvements, but I don't think these are drastic enough to sway a non-JRPG fan to play it. So naturally, I wouldn't recommend it to someone who doesn't like JRPGs or someone who is even on the fence about them. The second negative is the characters. Don't get me wrong, they're cliche, but I like them, and I love seeing how the relationship is growing over the course of the game. However, in that cliche is their accents. Most of them are complete caricatures with thick accents usually accompanied by stereotypes. Take Elvis for example. The thickest Scottish accent going, and he also loves his drink. As an Irish lad, I know the drinking stereotype all too well, but for once, us Irish aren't the butt of the joke. Now I personally like the exaggeration, but it might turn some off. The final negative, and certainly the worst, is the performance and graphics. Sometimes the game looks beautiful, other times the lack of anti-aliasing makes the characters look so jagged that all you can see are lines and colours. The problem is extra bad in handheld mode. The frame rate frequently drops. Now it's nothing major, and considering it's a JRPG, it doesn't affect the playing experience too much, but it's just something to note. So there's a few things to consider before buying Bravely Default 2. I hope it helped anyone on the fence. Would love to know if you're going to buy it or not, and if you have it, what do you think about it? I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next video.